Yeah, no, totally. I got 85.7. Can you imagine the number? Can you imagine? Is it going to be approximated to 86? It's only 3 marks for the 8. So
So it's being canvas.
it's on canvas here.
Yeah, the canvas is being approximated as B.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
3 marks. I will go to talk to them. Of course.
Вот,
96.
Ну да, есть.
For the total, I want to talk to them because
yeah, maybe they will be.
of course they must do it. It's only 3 marks. I think I will go for them now.
Go where? А куда он собирается?
Он хочет собирать таким, вот на грани. Ушел.
Место на границе отлично, да?
Да.
А к кому он хочет пойти? Что?
Очень свободно.
Да, я сейчас не знаю.
Yeah. Anton is not here. He was
После этого там будут места. Давай. А тебя не будет?
wow.
16 Нет. Но вы же там подавали какой-то ресерч, у вас там был какой-то другой профессор, я помню.
Да, просто подпишите, это как
Да.
ресерч, как будто научно.
Да, нет, ну в плане тот просто, это просто корректно, он же, вы поставили его с точки зрения корректности, чтобы он там поставил грейды, конфирм, там,
Да я понял, а что, по типу, не будет
не
гидравлики.
обязательно, да. А поговорим, давайте, знаете, когда? У нас сегодня вторник, да? Нет, сегодня же у нас уже вторник.
Сегодня вторник.
Сегодня вторник? Я перепутала, я убедила человека, что сегодня четверг. Я не убедила, что сегодня четверг, да? Да, я не смогла выключить. Давайте поговорим в четверг. Хорошо, во время. После приедет лектор, и он уже будет встречать. Во время, хорошо? Да. В четверг все обсудим. А потому что я профессор должен просто... Да.
Просто это было.
Ну, это надо Борису сказать, что его система.
Я
Да.
не знаю, о чем ты хочешь. Последний вопрос.
Just need like
Константин сказал, что хорошо, и
Да?
10% it's a lot.
Ну, давайте в течение 10 минут снимем, что я потом уйду.
We can go to them in the break.
Of course.
Давай,
Чего?
смотри.
Там Дмитрия сегодня нет и
Понятно.
будет. Просто Шамиль где-то ходит. Но он хотя бы, мне интересно, почему так они, может, просто объяснит, и я пойму, что...
Я тоже не потому что средний балл 88 казался.
Я вроде как не сильно слакал. Средний мне полностью, мне нужно 88, сколько? У меня отлично, 86. Похрен.
Чтобы вот эта система эффективно работала. Если у нас был, допустим, 74, да, там у нас довольно порядка, но там у кого 90, у кого 100. Можно?
Еще какие-то вопросы?
то в 7, то в 8. Таких 10 часов мне уже кто-то позвонил. Какой-то инженер. Не
Я имею в виду.
Так, что? В итоге он меня наконец-то пробудил, ничего не возвращение. Ну, ты говори, я не буду. Сам не встанешь. Потом ты придешь, меня к нему. Просто лег спать, между телефоном и включил. И все. Такая шнурок. Сидим в комнате, я такой, Рома, ну дела.
А у тебя, слушай, ты же делал то же самое, да? У тебя же тоже Одиссей. А, нет. А кто у вас был по Одиссею? У меня не было ничего необычного, просто...
Исследование речи, что знаешь? Каким параметрам, что нужно делать сейчас? Декан 20 числа, нужно не знать. Да? Это хера еще через сколько, знаешь? Ты что, ты нормально согласен? Ты что-то записался еще? Нет, в смысле? Конечно, я тебе буду записать. Ну, вообще, вообще. Не, просто я думал, что на страхе слушать просто ты будешь. Потому что, потому что просто что-то не поймешь, ну, блин, и вообще я тему выбираю, чтобы она была такая, я не хочу тему, я уже не помню. Ну, там что-то такое, ну, прям вообще, что-то такое лояльное. Ну, типа...
Если прям учиться, чтобы нормально происходит, это вот очень комнатно, очень быстро. Поэтому вот с этим я готова помочь.
Миша, широко не будет. А тебя он просил за него расписаться.
Я знаю,
А тут ВК есть?
но надо рисковать.
Вот, сейчас тебе перешлю.
Да?
Нет, ну, если хочешь, можешь reverse observation.
Если не несем.
15 там похер. Что записались, то уже есть.
Знаю.
Cool. So welcome. Welcome me back. How are you today?
Fine.
That's fine. I see my favorite magician is in the class. I missed you on Thursday, so the problem is that you start remembering people, so you were not in Thursday class. That's good. Good. How are we going to work today? Would you like to have a break?
Yes.
Right now?
Let's say we already lost 5 minutes, 6 minutes, so maybe not right now, maybe sometime later. When later?
Hour and a half?
Hour and a half and then break. Okay, I will teach it when there will be one exercise. Before we continue with the exercise, I will give you a break. I expect to be around 1 hour, 1 hour 10, 1 hour 15 minutes. So after that we can continue. Is that okay? Okay, good. What happened last time? I was teaching about something boring, financial reporting. Today I will teach you about something slightly more interesting, and I hope we will have better conversation. Okay? What is topic of today's conversation? It's competition. How a company competes on the market. We will especially look at examples from the industry you are interested in, but we will have broader overview just to understand how things work. So, anyone had opportunity to already listen something on this topic?
Selection weekend,
Selection weekend?
when we were like music companies competing with producers, no?
It was simple exercise on negotiation. But okay, you remember something good? Good starting point? Okay, let me then start. What is ideal position in the market? Where you would like to be if you have a company? Which one?
One can, many need.
One can, many need. Why? Let's go through the points. First one, what happens in this point? One can, few needs. Low demand. Basically, although it is good that there may be this one that can do, there is only few people who may need to buy this, and because of that, our product will be probably not successful, and because of that, it's questionable for how long we are going to survive. Good. No market. What's wrong with this one? Many can, few need. Sorry? Everything is wrong, exactly. In the first point, wrong was small market. In the second point, it's basically like, could you walk? Yes, anyone can. Who needs that? In our case, everyone, but doesn't produce any result. So, problem here is with everything. Wrong place to be. Next one. What's wrong with this? Sorry? High competition. In which dimension? What is the measure we compete in? Is it quality? Price. So, could we make good money at this point?
Probably not.
We can, but it is not so easy. There are companies that compete in in a market which are very price competitive and still make a lot of money, but it is not easy. So this is basically place in the market where we compete on price, because many can do and many need. So it is attractive because market is big, but still many companies can provide competitive service, product, whatever, and they typically have to go to compete on price. Finally, this place you want to be. Why that place is good?
Big market and you are
No competition.
no competition.
No competition. Okay, that means super profit. Why?
Because lots of guys need you and they will pay you and you can increase the price as high as you can, as high as you want.
Good. When we start doing that, we start selling a mobile phone on a price of $1,500. What happens?
Competitors.
Sorry? There is always something. No, there is no. We are only one. But what happens? 2 years after that, we are first who came and sell people smartphone. 1,500. What happens? China appears? No Russia? Why not Russia? Sorry? Okay, it can be smart cars, can be whatever. I just choose example because it's easy, because everyone has a mobile phone.
Or someone will come to this spot or everyone who need your product will have it already.
Aha! So, think about iPhone. Problem with this that once competitors see it's good to be because you are able to charge much more, what they do? They try to come to the same position, to produce same product. And what happens is basically that you get something that works copied. This copy doesn't mean that we go against any intellectual property rights or something but basically we start to clone product to produce it in similar fashion. So when you come to look at any of smartphones we have in this classroom, it will typically be the same one. When it goes to functionality, buttons, applications, etc., the difference will be, is it one operational system or another? That is everything. And of course, the more expensive will be typically slightly faster, bigger memory, but these are so small differences that it is very hard to even recognize. So, problem, and the question is how to stay at the point where everyone would like to be. But once everyone is there, it's not the point. So how to protect this point when one can do and many need? Okay, so I will try to go through the lecture with this question in mind and try to help you to understand how we can assess industry attractiveness looking through some elements which are around us. Cool? Typically, place that we would like to be is achieved through innovation. Being able to do something that others are not able to do means we are able to produce either new product, new service, or to come up with a novel way of doing that, or serving market or whatever. So there must be some element of innovation that make our offer different than of other companies. Good. How to develop strategy that will take us to this place. What we have to know is starting with two simple things. First, what is market and what is industry? Do you make distinction between these two things?
Yes.
What is market?
Market is place where you can sell your product or service, and the industry is the place where can you create your product or service.
Aha. So we have two groups. We have those who need and those who produce.
Yes.
Good. Okay, because when you go through some random text, it may be confusing. For us, it's important at this point to understand that we have a market that consists of the group of current and potential customers, so people who need something, and we have industry that consists of sellers, those who produce these things and put on the market. Good. Okay, now let's say we would like to compete in dairy industry. We would like to take milk and produce everything out of milk. What do we have to understand about industry that deals with dairy products?
Who need it?
Who need it? Good.
How to create it?
Sorry?
Who else can produce it?
Who else produce it? Why?
Because we need information about our competitors. What type of production do they produce? The price.
What else? Quality? Probably not so easy to assess, but okay, they're useful.
Technology.
Technology? When you say technology, what do you think?
How to create the product from
How to create
scratch.
the product?
Resources.
Resources. Well, okay. Could you give me more about marketing industry? I just mentioned that. Two things. Because when you mention technology, it's typically neither of these two.
But the people in plant.
I got that first thing, something. I think colleague said that. Okay, let's see. First thing that I already got is direct competitors. Who is else producing? But it is not the whole picture. What I need.
To understand why my product better than theirs.
Okay.
To understand the perspectives of the market. Who else is going
Okay.
to come in?
I have other 4 things I would like to know. Customers, good. Suppliers. If I'm dealing with milk production, what else I need as an input?
Resources.
So yes, but these are resources which may be a bit different. So I need access to the farms. I need agreements, or I have my own farms. Then I need continuous supply of packaging, and etc. etc. Then potential entrants. Who else can easily come to the market to serve it? Because if maybe today's 1 or 2 or 3 companies, what can change if there is 10 of them? And finally, is there any substituting product? Anything that can basically be used instead of milk? So if we have different segments of market, if we talk about, I don't know, small children, then probably not. If we go above and across the spectrum of users, we can find substituting products that can satisfy their need, and because of that, it can be kind of interesting to how these products influence someone's decision to buy milk or to use milk in everyday life. This is a simplified example of the milk, but we will now see how it can be applied to the more kind of sophisticated industries. Okay, there is a concept which is known as the 5 forces of competition. Their author is Michael Porter. He did this in the 80s, and till today is probably one of the most cited concepts when it comes to the business and strategy and the overall. So I think he is one of top 3 cited people in the field of management, where the most of citations and most of recognition comes from this specific concept. And these 5 forces that we have to look through are the following: bargaining power of suppliers, bargaining power of buyers, threat of substitutes, threat of new entrants, and rivalry among existing competitors. So I will go with you through all these 5 elements to see what does it mean and how we can assess each of these points, and then we will go through a small exercise that I hope will be interesting to you. Good. First small exercise. I have something for you I would like you to read. Please pass forward. You want to help me? Good. Nice. It is 1 page only, very short read. I hope it will read. Sorry.
To your friends.
Good. 10 more seconds. Good. Do you like Tommy's business model and how it operates?
More or less.
More or less. Would you like to have in the real life company that operates with a similar setting?
No,
Yes.
No, why no?
it's illegal.
It's illegal. How?
You are paying someone to force others not to come to this market.
You have never seen something like that?
We have, but it's illegal.
It's not exactly
Okay.
like that.
Good. So, what is this? Tommy's a bit older brother is called Terry. And what is Terry for the rest of those who would like to try?
Punisher.
Punisher. Let's find a business-related term.
A threat.
Sorry?
A threat.
Threat. Let's say Terry increases barriers for anyone who would like to enter the competitive market because they have first to go above him. So, and when you look at supplier to Tommy, how good is the relation with supplier? Great. Why? Yes, it's with mother, but there are some better mothers, not so good mothers. Okay, what is specific about this relationship except with his mother? Or maybe because she's mother?
At the beginning, she gave him for free the product so he can go faster.
Is it for free or?
For at the beginning, it was for free. And then after that, she started to receive some money.
When?
But only
When he got profit.
Could you imagine in your whatever business you start? You know, I'm not sure. You are doing something, and supplier gives you whatever you need. You do with these things, process money, then you go to the market, sell it, and only once you get paid, you go back to supplier and pay. Huh?
It happens, but it's very rare.
It happens, but it's very rare. Good. What about those retired people who are buying products? Ideal customers. And could they choose to buy anything else?
Yes.
See?
In the labeling business,
Aha. And because it's also seen as a fresh and healthy, so on any of these products that may be bought in the kind of package juices or something, and then good.
and maybe also it's accessible because it is in the street. So
Aha.
they don't have to go to the grocery store and buy something. They are working and they can buy some.
They already use this pathway? Good. Okay, so exactly these things we would like to look at when we look at other companies in their marketplace and their competitors. So here we will start from the tree of new entrants. So we would like to understand what type of Terry do we need, or what type of the wall and how high we have to build in order for anyone who is coming new to the market to be very high, very hard to jump over. So what do you think companies typically use to prevent new companies to just jump in? Sorry? Some form of intellectual property, sometimes patent. Good. Else?
I think the critical mass is
Critical?
critical mass of new companies. New companies have to reach critical mass.
Aha, of users,
Yeah.
in order to get some advantage of producing on scale, etc. Okay, what else?
Some agreement with suppliers.
Good, but this is another topic, somewhere here, on suppliers.
Lobbying in
Lobbying, whom?
government
Government sometimes.
Prices and quality.
or the
Prices?
Yes, because, for example, new companies cannot provide the same thing with the same price because they need to go up. So if they have low prices, nobody else can just start business.
Someone else wanted to add something? Okay, let's look here. So, barriers to entry. So threat of new entrants is low when barriers to entry are high. Barriers of entry are high. Exactly. I got several points. So when economy of scale play important role. So when price of producing 1 or 10 is completely different than producing thousands of pieces of something. Because you can do it cheaper, and because of that you're in a good position when you already serve existing market. High switching cost. What does it mean, switching cost? What is switching cost?
To switch from your to opponent,
Yes, but what does it mean?
it does not require to lose much or to.
What are switching? Are you recording?
yes.
Good. It's nice that you asked me before you started.
Sorry.
So I just wanted to use your phone. What is switching cost for Natalia to go from Beeline,
No,
MTS to Beeline? 0. Why?
Because of the law.
Because of the law. But what could be?
The service?
Sorry?
Because it is the service?
Could you imagine that instead of just applying at some portal and telling this company that provides current service, I'm not happy with your service, I would like to switch. And basically you keep your number and everything and you just go to another provider and you buy credit, which is typical current situation. So what would be if we have to buy completely new SIM card that has different shape? And because of that different shape, we have to buy completely new phone. What would be switching cost then?
Price of the phone.
Very high. And it would be, we need, 300, 400, I'm not sure how much money in order to switch from one service provider to another service provider. And that is exactly what companies try to do. So not much in our everyday consumption, but in many businesses. They basically build the systems which you cannot simply switch from one to another. And because of that, once you make a decision, your decision continues to produce effects on what you're buying. So locking a customer through some kind of standard or solution, which is then somehow imposing its characteristics on the future purchases, is very, very important mechanisms through which we build kind of higher barriers to enter for potential competitors. Or if we have high capital requirements. For example, if we would like to start producing flight engines, or if we would like to start producing aeroplanes, amount of money that is needed to be invested in factories, technology, and everything that we have to pay before we even start to produce a plane or engine is very high. And typically that will put aside many potential competitors because they cannot come with that amount of money and then start producing. Okay? Further. One more. We may control distribution channels. For example, if one dairy company would have exclusive agreement with all retail chains in Moscow, Perkrostok, Dixie, name it, then for others just to come would be much harder. So currently, if you produce something that can be termed cola, you have to fight very very hard to get into any trade. Because there is already two main brands, Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, and then there is potentially already one or two Russian kind of cola. And then if you would like to enter that, you have basically even to pay to the retail shop in order to get to the inside. Which sounds kind of strange, that in order they to sell you, you have to pay them. But that is what happens. So, controlling distribution channels. For example, Apple has unique sales channel which is not matched by any other competitor. That is specialized Apple stores, which typically when they launch new products are overcrowded. People wait in queues coming several days in advance to buy a new phone. You know. Yes, you can buy it online, but if you buy it online, it will be basically pre-booking for 6 months that you can get it. So controlling channels of distribution is very important. Which products you can buy where. Try to look just in that way around yourself, and you will see how many products is related to specific distribution channel, specific retail shop. Restrictive government policy. We just heard that at the previous, but if you think about biggest Chinese companies, they grow in a space without competition because Google and Facebook and some other companies were not permitted to be in China. So that is how we got big Chinese copies or clones of these networks, which are currently among the biggest companies in the world. And of course, once it happened, I can allow Facebook to even pay to some kind of Chinese government to enter the business. But there is already a big established competitor which can easily deal with this new entrant. Learning curve. What is learning curve? What does it mean, learning curve? Learning curve means if I start today and produce 100 pieces, my 101st piece will be cheaper, faster, and better than my first piece. So if I do many of them, of course this 100 or 1,000 will be better than the first one because over time of producing them, I start improving processes, I start learning how to do it faster, better, etc., etc. And because of that, I can do it better. As well as intellectual property, which was one of the first hints from your side. Then, easy to enter and easy to exit. This is kind of similar question. Because if we can easily sell our technology or whatever we use, that means this industry is kind of easy to enter. We can think about bakery. I noticed that bakeries are not the most popular things in Russia. However, in the biggest part of Europe, they are. And if you would like to start a business of bakery, what you have to do is basically to start learning if anyone is selling equipment for the bakery. And typically those who are selling equipment for bakery could do that easily because there is a number of people who would like to do it on the next corner, on the specific area, next to school, next to whatever. But if we are Bombardier and we would like to sell and there's only few of them. And whoever, if I would be new Chinese, would like to be plane producer, I need a lot of money, a lot of promises from some type of company that they will buy planes. Because simply, there is few companies that may be interested to start this because it's very specialized, because it's very hard to get out of it. Whatever is hard to get out of it, it's very expensive to get in. Good. Next one, suppliers. When suppliers are in better position than those who are buying from them. When suppliers, those who give this, are in better position than those who are get supply.
When the guys who need suppliers need them more than they're being produced by suppliers.
Again?
When the number of suppliers which are produced is lower than the needed. For them.
Aha, so we produce 100 and market needs thousands.
Yes.
Okay? Further ideas?
Well, there are few suppliers.
There is only few suppliers and many potential buyers. Good. Further? When they offer something unique. For example, they produce material that is 10 times more resistant to temperature. And then it plays an important role in whatever we produce. And because of that, they may be somehow in a position to negotiate better prices. And we depend on them, not the other way around. Good. Okay, let's see this. Supply group is more concentrated than the focal industry, which means there is less suppliers than those who are buying. Profitability of suppliers is not significantly affected by the purchase, which means these suppliers, they typically work with industry A and they sell some small amounts to industry B. And then industry B could be somehow more interested to get access and to talk to them because suppliers already earn majority of their profits working with another industry, and because of that they can negotiate with this kind of side industry in a better way. Switching costs, again, the same concept, just from different side. If supplier already provided number of, I don't know, you deal with typical administration currently has, I don't know, 10,000 of computers just in Moscow, probably even more, 20,000 computers. Users of these computers, if it is not Windows, will not be able to work next 6 months if you do not continue buying Windows products. Why? Simply because they learn the way Windows operate, and then going from Windows to something that can be Linux or whatever operational system would be kind of wow. And you cannot stop administrative operation for 6 months in order to train and prepare people to do it. So that this is high switching cost, and because of that, products are coming, supplier is able basically to negotiate good terms. There is no substitute for what suppliers can provide. This is extreme case of what Arzu told us, where it is somehow much better than anything else. This is no one else can provide. So you can then basically have an interview. You know that in Germany, once you want to rent a flat, you go for interview because there is more people who would like to rent a flat, especially in cities like Stuttgart, Munich, etc. And you apply with CV and everything, and then they organize interview session with those 5 or 7 that they selected. Because more people is searching for flats than flats are rented. And you have to get recommendation to get in the flat. So this is something like this. Good. More about this. IP advantage, okay, we control specific intellectual property. Or suppliers could be powerful if it is easy for them to enter and compete with you directly in the same market. So if we are supplying you, I don't know, few components which are crucial for the laptop, for producing a laptop, and then if we come into terms which are not good, I can simply buy few more or organize few more elements in order to produce the same thing as you, and then I'm in much better position because I already own the whole supply. I mean, laptop is probably not the best example, but it's just one that can be useful for understanding. So if supply is easy to cross and start competing in the same industry, same market, competing on the same market, then it can be kind of better position for that company to negotiate with us. And the other way around doesn't work. Protected by powerful brands. For example, what is the best branding in the laptop industry that you know about? is there any component in the laptops that you know about when you're buying a laptop? Intel. What is the statement? Intel inside. Basically, Intel tried to brand, because they do not sell to the public. They sell to companies which are putting then this component inside a bigger product and sell. But what they build reputation as the best processor, and then basically they influence our decision when we are going to buy a laptop. That we look that this laptop is Intel inside, because that is the fastest, the best, or the lowest heating or whatever that is important for us as a user. So although we do not buy from Intel directly, we think about, is it Intel inside? And this is where this protected by powerful brands is important. Suppliers are weak if the product is standardized. For example, Perkrostok and Dar is supplying milk. So you can buy, I had this example last time. So we typically do not know what type of milk we are buying because there is 10 or 15 different boxes with different names, but we are picking those that we tried several times, and typically we tried all of them. There is maybe some of them could be, I don't know, with very specific plus or minus, but most of milks are the same. At least that is perception of the buyer. Good. Other side of equation. When the buyer is powerful, we are producing something, and we really have to think on what price buyer would like to buy. When it happens? A lot of competitors? What has been a lot of competitors? A lot of buyers or a lot of from our side? What is the situation on buyer side?
Depend on the quantity.
Sorry?
Quantity.
Quantity of what?
Product. Quantity which buyer is being bought.
Aha. Is there any specific situation when buyer is much more powerful than we as a producers?
Yeah.
Which one?
When he can easily switch to another producer.
Okay. How many buyers is there?
You are the only in the best.
Could you imagine a situation when you are the only buyer?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Which one? Government. Okay. Any specific part of the government?
Military.
Military. Okay. If you would like to produce and sell tanks, who can buy?
Militaries.
Maybe, what is your name? Maybe Roman could be adventurous and try to buy in order to have a testing polygon somewhere in Siberia, but that will be, even if allowed, someone told me last year that it's allowed in Russia to buy a tank, but that is one product. If you would like to sell thousands of them, you need military Ministry of Defense to buy. So, and if you like to sell to the single buyer, you have to sit on the table because there is more producers and there is only one buyer, and they will tell you, we are going to buy this if it fits our budget. Our budget has to fit this, and we would like to buy this number with this quality, with this and this and this and this. Typically, that will come to many of space-related companies. As yesterday, last time we talked about this 7% industry, where basically government comes. Because we are buying this mission, we are buying this and that, it has to fit this quality requirement, it has to be in this price range, it has to do this and this and this. So, one powerful buyer is typically present in what we call space industry. And typically it's government. So this is a very important thing to think about. Okay. Good. What else? Switching cost again. Industry product is not important to the quality of the buyer's product. So if it is something that does not significantly influence on the quality of mobile phone, I don't know, something that can be easily replaced, then typically it's not important and buyer is much better position. Good. buyers are weak if there are many different buyers and they do not have any real influence on the product or price. For example, what is your favorite Rinok in Moscow? Sadonik. Okay, whatever. Close to my house is Dargamilovsky Rinok, and when I go there, I look at different meats, different vegetables, fruits, whatever, and my ability to negotiate on the price is limited. I do not have a kind of 100 people at home so that I can tell them if you sell me 100 kilos of meat, I can get discounted price. If I am buying, I don't know, less than a kilo or maybe 2. So these amounts are really limited, and because of that, I have to take typically what is there. So any one of us going to the Berkshire or whatever other shop, typically we do not have any chance to negotiate the price. Good. So this is where buyers, we are very good. There is a lot of us, and we have different and unrelated buying patterns. Could you think about any company in our recent past that tried to solve this problem? Any company in recent past that tried to put buyers together in order to get discount on what is bought? I'm not sure that I really... Yandex Market, this is typical.
In driver, it is that on the Yandex Taxi you put the price that you want to pay for a taxi, and they accept you, or maybe they put like 50 rubles more.
Okay, that is a bit different. So I'm not sure if you ever heard from a company that is called Groupon. Groupon, it was very big just 5 or 6 years ago, and it was a business model that was spreading as I don't know, the most dangerous disease across the countries. Groupon was idea, okay, let's find 100 people who need to buy 1 kilo of something, and instead of buying 1 kilo, let's buy 100 kilos, and because of that, let's get some discount. So if you type Groupon, you will see that in recent past, this company went up and then went down as well, because it was easy to replicate model, so everyone started doing that. And basic idea was to deal with this, to deal with somehow increasing power of buying. Good. Next one. Substitute. What is substitute? Product with similar qualities. That means if I'm producing BMW car, it will be Mercedes car. Other opinions? Sir? Clones. Other opinions?
Products that can implement the same function.
Aha! Exactly. So it is not that products with the same, exactly same appearance, just other producer. That is product that satisfy the same need or has the same function. So in the case of car industry, it is not another car. It's bicycle, it's aeroplane, it's train, it's metro system. All these things that help us to move from point E to point B. So substitutes are different from rivals. Existing rivals are those companies that produce the same product, same type of product, same car industry. So here we talk about substitutes, and substitutes are, as explained, the things or products that can satisfy the same need in a bit different way. For example, who likes to drink beer? Who likes to drink beer? Not to be recorded. Good. Okay, do you prefer can or plastic or glass package?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It matters because these are substituting each other. So if you, bottling companies, have options to go for one or second or third way to package or approach to packaging. And then these three packaging ways are somehow related with price. Because you cannot increase glass package, because there are alternative packages that can provide the same, because you said the same. So, which provide pretty much the same quality of how you keep things, except maybe for very, very expensive wines and things which cannot be really packed in this way. But for beer, at the moment, it's extremely the same. And that is why these things are substituting each other. Good. And finally, we are coming to what was our first idea, what should be looked at. That is, who is doing the same? Who are direct competitors? And then, basically, we look at, if we are a car producing company, we go and look who is doing that. But is that always easy to understand who are existing rivals?
No, I think, for example, one company can create lots of companies which are like competitors, but they have one head of them.
Why they are doing that?
Run from law and to get new market.
Do you have any law affiliation to your previous degree?
No.
Because I think you insist all the time on law. It's illegal, it's good. Okay. Good. Let's now try to go a bit further. So why do we need these 5 forces? What they can be used for? So we have kind of set of questions we would like to ask ourselves once we start thinking about specific industry to understand, okay, if we do it, is it possible and easy for anyone else to start doing the same? This is basically this threat of new entrants. If we start doing that, is it easy for everyone to do the same? So, how? Question first is what we are looking at. Because is Tommy in the lemonade stand industry or food retailing industry? And then, even better, is it any of these flying companies like EasyJet or S7 or UTair, are they in the airline industry or transportation industry? So it's important how we define industry in order to understand who are competitors, who are suppliers, who are buyers, etc., etc. And it is typically shouldn't be done too narrow and shouldn't be done too wide. The best approach is think about going from narrow to wide in order to see how things change. Why? What was the electrification before currency? Before current came in our life, what was electrification? What was providing light?
Fire.
Sorry?
Fire.
Fire. What type of fire? What was?
Candles. Gas.
Okay, candles, gas. So, after gas, we got something that didn't have anything to do with that industry. We got first direct current. And after that, quickly after that, we got AC. So it was DC, now it's AC, alternative current. So what happened? From candles to gas, it was again not the same industry, it came from another industry. From candle to the current, from electricity, it again appeared from another industry. So if we have this radical innovation, things that change completely how we do things, typically do not come from the same industry. So if we now think about autonomous driving, leaders on doing this will typically not be car companies, typical car companies. It will be IT companies that were dealing with some kind of object recognition, artificial intelligence, machine learning, everything that is basically based for doing autonomous driving. So that is why it is important in order to understand who can be new entrant, who can be this new competitor, not just to look very, very narrowly on what you're doing at the moment, what else can happen. Good, so broadly and then narrowly, okay, that is what I explained. Explain, good. What for? Why do we need this framework and why it is so popular? Because it can help us to understand industry. For assessing industry attractiveness, how good this industry is, or once we go there, how we can build a system in which can we work a long time to provide margin that is satisfy our investors. Good. In order to have something that I would like to do with you, I have to go to example. Please. Good. What is profile of an ideal industry to compete in? Could you go through this and tell me, if you have tomorrow to be kind of asked by God of competition what you would like to get for your company you're going to build, what you would like to have?
No threats from new entrants and substitutes.
Sorry?
No threats from new entrants and substitutes.
So low threat of new entrants. Good. What else?
A low threat from substitutes.
Low threat from substitutes. Good.
A lot of cheap suppliers and profitable suppliers.
Okay, how it's called?
Weak bargaining power.
Low?
Weak.
Weak. Okay, weak or low. And this one?
The same weak bargaining power of buyers.
So that would be something that would be ideal profile if we are in, so we can make a profit that is above anything that in other industries could be done. Good. So this is summary of what you just provided me with. Exercise. Exercise. Would you like to have a break before or after exercise? Do you feel hungry? Before. Okay. Before. Go. Now it is 5:00. You see, amazingly on time. So should we start at 5:20 or 5:15?
20.
Okay. Is there any specific rule? No. Okay. 5:20. Then I'm waiting for you. Every day. If there are any questions from the previous or this lecture, I'm available.
Просто